Nammo Fa. Good morning. It's May 1st. Happy May Day, and we're here for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. This morning we're reciting the 5th mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. This morning we're reading the section on breath and meditation from Ajahn Sucitto's book, Kamma and the End of Kamma. In the practice of mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, you review and release programs to realize freedom, which we could call the unprogrammed, ansankata. Mind, speech, and body are all brought into that meditative process. That is, you start with the attitude of all the time in the world to just be breathing, to ease and steady the mind. Then as you settle into your sitting, you then moderate your thought capacity by giving its attention to breathing in and breathing out. To be clear and attentive to breathing through the period of one whole inhalation and one whole exhalation definitely reveals and unravels compulsive thought patterns. So, how does thinking support the practice? Well, you can use a mantra such as Buddho, thinking Bud as you breathe in and getting the sound of that syllable to extend over the entirety of that bodily process. Then the same with Do on the out-breath. However, you may find this verbalization gets in the way after a while. Personally, I recommend setting up an initial thought, asking, how do I know I am breathing? And then, how is that? And using it just enough to sustain a focused inquiry. It doesn't entail a lot of thinking, but there's thoughtfulness. We are considering something, listening to it, picking it up. Where is it now? And noticing that we know the breathing because of a sense of swelling, tightening, and subsiding in the chest or diaphragm. In this, we are staying with and registering what's going on. This is skillful verbal kamma, because it brightens and clarifies as well as calms the mind. It leads to stopping the thought patterns, not through annihilation, but through tuning in. There are different modes of bodily patterning that can be attuned to when breathing in and out. First, one can recognize the purely physical, fleshly aspects of breathing. For example, the repeated swelling of the chest or the abdomen, and the tightening and relaxing of the skin. Second, one can feel the flow of air through the nose and down the back of the throat. Third, there's the energetic effect. As you breathe in, you get a brightening effect. And as you breathe out, you get a quiet, calming effect. These are 3 strata of breath experience. Given time, you can discern them all. I place some emphasis on the energetic effect because it's discernible through the whole system, at any place that suits you, and it brightens and calms the mind. However, if we conceive of our body and breath in a purely physical way, breathe in, the lungs fill up, then breathe out again, we overlook this aspect of breathing. And if you try to attend to a physical point where the energy is not apparent, it's difficult to get relaxed and comfortable. But if we just put the concept of the body to one side and ask, how do I experience my body right now? We can sense the body more dynamically. We find that there are all kinds of trembles and surges and flushes and tingles and throbs going on. Also, the body is quite intelligent. It seems to know what to do. When it feels tight and the mind gets out of the way, it loosens. When it needs to breathe in, it breathes in. It never breathes out when it needs to breathe in. It never mixes up the two. It has an intelligent system that takes care of itself. That whole process is the bodily patterning, kaya sankhara, and breathing in and breathing out are right in its center as an energetic experience. In fact, the Buddha himself doesn't mention focusing on one point in the body, or even on the breath, but more in terms of being receptive to the whole process of breathing. He simply says, know you're breathing in, and know you're breathing out. He doesn't say anything about where you should focus your attention. He just encourages us to be aware of the in, out, the rhythm. To me, that's significant, because rhythm has a heart effect. Every musician, every parent rocking a baby knows that. If focusing feels tense, try just receiving the rhythm. Say the slight swell in the chest, or even the belt around your waist tightening and loosening. Something that keeps coming back so it is easily noted. Just be aware of the body as a pattern of repeated sensations that occur with the breathing. When you pick up the repetitive quality, you'll discern the energy, because that's the source of that flowing vitality, kaya sankhara. The training is to get simple. Give yourself whatever time you need to get really simple. This alone reverses the trends of a lifetime. And when you lose focus, don't make a problem out of it. That could turn another chitta habit around. So if you never do more than just notice when you've drifted off, and at that point just ask, what's happening with breathing right now? And pick up whatever sensation comes to the fore connected with breathing. That makes the practice accessible. And you're probably shifting ingrained programs just by not pushing. Then as you get lighter and simpler, the rest of the practice follows. As your mind tunes in, you can refine the process by attuning to the full length of the breath. This gets us in touch with the ending, the release and stillness at the end of the breath, and with the complete fullness and stillness at the completion of an inhalation. This steady completion, this coming to stillness, is an aspect of bodily energy that we often miss out on in our normal way of life. But giving yourself all the time in the world to attune to the breathing allows you to be with that movement to stillness. And you attune to that through being receptive to tactile impressions, which itself is an important shift of attention from the rational or visual bases that normally dominate our lives. The tactile sense is highly sensitive and responsive in a nonverbal way. Also, it's intimate. When I touch something, it touches me, so it comes with trust. Breathing in and out is a reliable and pleasant process that encourages a deepening of that trust. And when one trusts, the energy relaxes, and the heart brightens. Hence, being in touch with breathing brings sensitivity and relaxation, bright Kamma. So, there are somatic and emotive effects that come with this practice. One feels deeply relaxed, tender, fulfilled, refreshed. This is the experience of rapture, piti, a buoyant and refreshed state, and ease, sukha. These carry the sense of being in the flow with something. It's not just that one is doing good, but that good things are happening. And as we pick up the sense of that, the chitta and the body calm, the breathing gets softer, and the combined effects permeate the entire system. The thinking mind, the heart, and the body come together. They begin to be unified, and the unification is both bright and still. That's right concentration, samadhi. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu. 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 Thank you for spending this morning with me. I hope you have a delightful weekend, and we'll be back for daily practice check-ins on Monday.